My name is Jaga Glusina. I'm a senior legal product expert at Luminance. I have had a couple of years experience in insurance litigation in New Zealand, and when I moved to London about 3 years ago now, I worked for a legal startup for a couple of years as well. So if you're a lawyer and you have an M&A deal, the first thing that you might receive is the data room, and that might be on a USB stick, it might be on a CD, it might be in a virtual data room like Intralinks, HiQ, Dropbox, or Ansarada even. So at the point that you get granted download rights from the party who might be on the other side, or even if it's your client who's put together this data room, at the point in which you gain those rights, you simply upload the documents directly into Luminance, which is like a 30-second process. At that point, Luminance goes through and it applies its OCR technology, and that means optical character recognition. So it applies that technology, which is our own proprietary blend, and it looks optically at the documents, finding all of the patterns that exist in the language of the documents, regardless of the format of the documents, regardless of the language of the documents. It's doing that. And then it's basically taking the information that it already knows about these types of documents, whether it's because we've preloaded that understanding in, or whether it's learnt that already from your interaction with the platform. And it then presents that information back in a very visual dashboard, giving that really holistic overview of things like, document type, contract clauses, governing law, currencies, percentages, even the folder structure, which has been replicated if it was already put together before you uploaded the document. So all of those things allow you to then focus much more quickly on what is in the document set and then prioritize the way that you're reviewing it. So it gives you that unprecedented insight into the contents of the data room. It's not designed to actually replace the work that the humans are doing. It's there to augment the work of humans who actually have the expertise. So who would trust, a robot to be doing the work when, as a lawyer, it all comes back to human judgment? So what Luminance does is it helps to get the lawyers to a place where they're able to apply their expertise for that higher level analysis or higher value work. It takes away the grunt work, that really manual or methodical document review process where you're just working through a pile of documents. That part isn't needed to be done by a human, and lawyers will still have the control over what that produces, but they're just spending their time on that higher level work from a much earlier point. So Luminance doesn't use expert systems as such. What it's actually doing is using 3 key AI techniques in a way which is very unique to this product. So it's using a mixture of natural language processing, pattern matching algorithms, and supervised and unsupervised machine learning. And what that means is that Luminance can learn from the example of a human. So it's actually learning in the same way as a human would by example, and it does that through a very unique combination of the supervised and unsupervised machine learning that I've just referred to. Right, so I'll talk a bit about the supervised and unsupervised machine learning, because that is really the unique aspect of Luminance which allows it to learn by example. So what that means is that unsupervised Luminance is looking through volumes of documentation, it might be thousands at any one time. It's comparing and contrasting all of the patterns in language that it finds. It's looking at patterns in language optically. So the first thing it will do once it's found all of those patterns existing in language, and it does that regardless of language or format, it clusters documents together based on the mathematical or statistical similarity of those patterns, and then looks within those clusters of very similar documents to find variations in the language which might actually indicate a hidden risk in a document set or unusual drafting, for example. So then the sort of human element comes in, the supervised machine learning, which is where a lawyer might be reviewing a body of documents in the platform, and they go about the review in the normal way. They're just using the platform to do so, and they apply labels to anything which could be of interest. So let's just say you come across, a non-standard change of control clause in the documents. You simply apply a label to that, and Luminance will immediately expose all of the other very, very similar patterns in language that it's already identified in the data room or the document set, allowing you to label all of those at once, but also taking that unusual example of change of control and allowing its overall understanding of that concept or that clause to be increased and to be refined. So every new example you show it, it learns from and it becomes more intelligent.